Want to tip the host? Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Get a free Houston Sports State of the Union podcast t-shirt with a donation of $50 or more.
This is the Houston Sports State of the Union podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of Houston Sports Nation, Nick Stevenson.
All right, sit your ass down. Thank you so much, my fellow Houstonians. Welcome to this Houston Sports State of the Union address for the week of whatever this week is. What you got, Josh?
I don't even know, bro. It works so much. I don't even remember what day of the week
For real,
it is.
man. The week of the 11th. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, there are a million places you could be tonight. You chose to spend a little bit of time with us. As you see, I have the vice president of Houston Sports with me, JT, my little brother.
Yes, sir. Yes,
my
sir.
baby boy, DJ Mulatto.
How y'all doing?
Too many names to name. What's going on, baby?
Multiple names, multiple personalities, but I'm here representing with my bro. Love what you're doing with the podcast, man. Holding it down, 10 toes down for H-Town. So I'm all on board. You see, I'm ready for football season. I'm a big Texans fan. You know what I mean? A lot of excitement this year. I'm ready.
You are the vice president. You are also my Texans ambassador. So I'm happy to have you here, man. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. Guys, there's a lot going on in Houston sports. The Texans have played another preseason game. They won, so that means they're going to the Super Bowl. We already know what it is.
That's what the Cowboys do. Hey, they could do it. We can do it.
What it is. And the schizophrenic Houston Astros are on a 6-game winning streak, and they're actually currently up 3-1 on Tampa Bay right now. You guys may be watching that game. It's in the top of the 7th inning. We'll watch it with you.
They're more bipolar than schizophrenic. They don't know. They're hot, cold, hot, cold. They love us one week, then they hate us.
For sure. But look, we got a lot to go over. There's not a whole lot of Rockets news today, but I do have some news related to myself and the Rockets. That's kind of Rockets news.
Let them know.
Yeah. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But the first thing I want to do is remind you guys of the ways you can support the show. And I'm going to take these earbuds out because there's a delay and it's driving me nuts. I'm sorry. So if my microphone cuts out, Josh, you'll have to let me know. Cool?
I'll let you know.
Okay. So the ways you can support the show, well, one of them you're doing right now. You're watching. Hopefully you're sharing with your friends, your family, other Houston sports fans, and your friends who love Houston sports. Or you can share it with Cowboys fans if you want to. Most of the time, we don't talk too much trash about them. Like we're very diplomatic in our approach to other fans until they cross us the wrong way. Like we came into we've talked about AFC South Warzone a lot. And we didn't really come in there hot until people came at us. So
yeah, we did. Hey, but let's be honest. Let's be honest though. Most of the Cowboys fans, let's be real. By week 16, 17, y'all gonna be throwing your Texas gear on. You already know. I'm talking stuff in the preseason. And you go ahead and screenshot the video. Keep your receipts. We coming for that this year, man.
I want to get to that in a second. Keep sharing with your friends, your Cowboys fans. Everybody's welcome to the Houston Sports State of the Union podcast. But I also want to let you guys know that in the description of this video, not currently, but after I post it, there will be links to my affiliates, and there will be links to Houston Sports fan gear. Anytime you purchase anything from those links, you will give me a little bit of commission, and I appreciate that. There's also links to the podcast equipment that we are using today to bring you this lovely show. So anytime that you do purchase from those links, I'll get a little bit of commission, and those are the ways you can support the show financially. Now, it's funny that, Josh, you talked about Cowboys fans and them turning into Texans fans, because Texans fans get accused of being closet Cowboy fans all the time, which is crazy. Most of the time, though, a lot of, we got that a lot in AFC South zone or AFC South war zone.
Yeah.
But, I was talking to one of my buddies about the Dallas Cowboys today, and he's not a Cowboys fan. He knows I'm a Texans fan, but he was just trying to understand the dynamic between us. Right. And I was like, to be honest with you, bro, I wouldn't be surprised. This is the one year that nobody really expect anything from the Cowboys. This just might be the year they actually win the Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah. And if
that
they
would be
did, bro,
crazy.
like I'm not mad. Like everybody's like, man, you're a Cowboy hater. When I was younger, I used to talk a lot of crap about the Cowboys. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
But really, like you're in the NFC East, bro. Like if I'm not playing you that year, I got no beef with you. I wish you the best. But the years we play each other, like this year, oh yeah, I'm gonna be talking some stuff this year because it's a rivalry game. You know what I mean? But
well, I'll tell you what, bro. I feel you. Let's go ahead and get into the state of the Houston Texans then. And we're gonna let our listeners know what we think about them so far in the preseason. All right. So as I said, they've played 2 preseason games. The first one was rained out.
that was garbage.
It was, yeah. I mean, they happened to be down when they canceled the game, so technically that's a loss.
They were driving though.
Yeah, they were playing well in that game. Well, I want to ask you this: in the 2 preseason games, I've been happy with Davis Mills. First of all, he looks like he has a really good understanding of what he needs to do out there.
Yeah,
he's even made some athletic plays, like off schedule plays, which is not something.
Yeah, he broke somebody's ankles, bro. I was like, what?
Yeah. That's not what we usually expect from him.
Yeah, he's been a statue.
But he's been really consistent, efficient, going through his reads, going through his progressions. Like, he looks good, man. I think that is a quality backup quarterback to have in the NFL.
He's trying to get traded. He's trying to go start. There's some trash quarterbacks out there right now.
Yeah, I think he's valuable to this team because, if something happens to CJ, you want somebody who understands how the offense works and understands, how to play the position. And as much as I love Case Keenum and who's the other dude, Doyle?
He's not Boyle. He's not making the team.
Yeah, I don't know that he's even going to make the team. And Case is just,
that's a practice squad quarterback.
Case's time is come and gone, man. He's done some great things for this organization, but I think Davis Mills is the perfect backup for CJ.
Hey, he beat the Titans, though. Let's keep it 100. This old-ass man beat the Titans while they wore Houston Oilers uniforms and thought they were about to flex, decorated your whole stadium like it was Houston, and you got beat by Case Keenum. That's not good.
That's true. That is very true. And he did make a very important play at the end of that game to get them in field goal range.
Right.
But, I mean... Yeah, he made one really good play in that game. He didn't play well though. Like, that's not a guy you want to have starting multiple games.
He played as good as, hey boss, I'm giving you the best I got. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But we definitely saw why CJ. Everybody who said CJ was a fluke last year, you saw the difference when he wasn't in the game and when he was. And you saw the difference when he didn't play well, like against the Jets.
Yeah.
And when he was playing well. So he's definitely, that was an amazing catch. I'm sorry to interrupt y'all, but Dubon just made a really amazing catch to end the 7th inning, diving catch, probably robbing someone of a hit. So that was I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. But Astros
wait for the state of the Astros, man. Wait for the state of the Astros.
Astros still up 3-1. So my thing is, though, Davis Mills impressed me. Obviously, CJ, the touchdown pass to Tank Dell in the second game, that impressed me. I'm worried, bro, because his team is not running the ball. And I know it's preseason, but I've seen plenty of teams run well in the preseason and then end up not running well in the regular. I've never seen a team not run well in the preseason and then all of a sudden figure it out in the regular season. So that has me a little bit concerned. What are your thoughts on the running game and the offense in general?
I think the running game is to be seen. One, Joe Mixon has not played a preseason game. Mm-hmm. I think that Cam Akers has impressed me. Like, he's running like, hey, he hasn't had the same injuries that could have ended somebody's career. He's running the ball hard. And when you say the running game struggle, I'm sorry. When I watch the preseason, I'm not really big on stats. Like, right, I know that there's going to be backups in the game. I know that the game is just a glorified scrimmage. Mm-hmm. I do the eyeball test. Like, who looks like a good football player? Davis Mills, he passed the eyeball test. I don't care who was playing. I don't know his stats. Hey, it looked good. Yeah. When Cam Akers ran the ball, he was hitting holes. He was running hard. He had C.J. Stroud hyped on the sideline.
He was shifty.
Pierce?
Doing span moves.
Man, I love Pierce his rookie year. I remember going to the games his rookie year they when they were putting out Rex Burkhead. And I'm like, what are y'all doing putting in Rex Burkhead? Put in Pierce. But they ran the crap out of Rex Burkhead that year. But he had explosiveness to him running that power scheme. I think maybe the zone read isn't for him. And he needs to get traded, and he'll probably have a successful career, get some draft picks for him.
And that's the weird thing about it, man, because that zone running scheme, that Shanahan style that goes all the way back to the Denver Broncos, that was always been like a plug and play Like there was a while. That's one of the reasons that running backs who started having big numbers stopped getting paid, because they were attributing it to the system of the zone read.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's running backs that came out of nowhere that were successful. I mean, we had one of them. Arian Foster went undrafted. Now, don't get me wrong. Arian Foster was a special type of runner, and he was the perfect zone scheme runner because of the way he would he'd find his hole, his one cut, and he would go. And he was just so smooth with it too.
Right.
Dameon Pierce is not that, bro. Like I can't put my finger on. And don't get me wrong. Okay, so Tunsil hasn't played. Howard hasn't played, correct? And I don't think Shaq Mason's played either.
Right.
That's 3/5 of your offensive line.
Yeah, but as many backups played last year, I want to see some good blocking from that backup O-line, because last year that was one of our most injured.
And that's the question, though. Like, are the holes not there, or is he just not finding him? And, you know, when you're not watching all 22, when you're watching on TV, it's kind of hard to tell. Like,
on TV, it looked like there ain't been no holes. I'm going to be real.
Yeah, yeah. No,
it looks
100%.
like old-fashioned football where everybody just run into each other.
Yeah. Let's give credit where credit is due, though. Like, the Bears defense and the Steelers defense are pretty good at stopping the run. Like, these are two good defenses. But at the same time, if I see the years that the Texans have ran the ball well in the regular season, it's made me happy, but I've never assumed that it means they're going to run well in the regular, because, like I said, I've seen it go both ways. But the fact that they're not running it in the preseason kind of concerns me a little bit. Also, the Joe Mixon thing, like, are we going to see him before the regular season starts? There's not a whole lot of information being given about what exactly is going on with him.
I think they're trying to keep him fresh for week one, bro. He's a veteran. They know he can run that scheme. I was surprised that D'Amico Ryan spoke so highly before the preseason game about Dameon Pierce. They say he's out there grinding, that he can't. That's what he asked him what he was looking forward to most in the game. He wanted to see Pierce.
Yeah.
Show everybody.
He lost weight.
And I don't know, bro. He kind of reminds me, who's the dude that Batista plays on Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, nothing go over my head because I will catch it. He's like, I just run straight. He's like Forrest Gump, bro. Like, he don't know how to cut. He's going to run straight. So unless the hole is in between the center and the guard, he is not hitting the hole. He goes straight. And I think you use him as a third down back, a power back in the red zone, and then you Agumbawale, he ran well to me for the snaps that he had. Cam Akers ran well to me. I haven't seen too much of that rookie they got this year. Like to see him too.
So Andrew Beck is still on the roster, right?
Right.
You think they should keep him?
The fullback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you let Pierce be the fullback?
Nah, you need Beck to run back kicks against Jacksonville because they can't catch him. He broke ankles. All right, and that was not a preseason game.
He's got to muff it first, though.
Those dudes are in first place.
He's not running it back. But if he muffs it, then he'll run it back.
They should just put that in the part of the game plan. Like, look, the ball's going to hit you. Don't catch it. Beck's going to run up, scoop it, and we're going to run it back for 87-yard touchdown.
Oh, man. But all in all, though, man, there's still optimism about the Texans, man.
I'll tell you who I think we should get rid of. And everybody's going to hate me for this take. I'm sorry, H-Town, Galveston County, Brazoria County, wherever you're watching this from. Why the hell do we have a long snapper on the team, bro? Like, that's a wasted roster spot.
John Weeks is the best long snapper in history.
Bro, when you play Madden, the first cut you make is John Weeks every time because you need a roster. You cut John Weeks. So I get it. It's like, hey, cool. But, bro, you got to think that Juice Scruggs or somebody can long snap, bro.
No. John Weeks is a waste of a roster spot on Madden.
Right.
Because you can put anybody at center on Madden.
Right.
And they will be a great snapper. Right. But isn't this his last year? He's supposed to retire after this year.
I don't know. He might not even be on the roster. I'm just talking shit because I'm pissed off that
I thought John Weeks.
I've watched him so many times.
You know what?
I don't keep up with the long snapper. I'm going to be honest with you.
Really stupid if John Weeks is not on the roster anymore.
I don't think I've seen him at practice or training camp or anything.
You keep talking, and I'm gonna.
But look,
I'm gonna find out.
I'm speaking to the past, bro. Like for years, we've been okay. Let's be honest. The last 3 years, we were one of the worst teams in the league. We needed talent, and I was like, why the hell do we have two people, John Weeks and Rex Burkhead? Why the hell are they on this team? And like Lovie Smith, bro.
Rex Burkhead back and let him play center, bro.
Lovie Smith was like Saturday Night Live, like with the cowbell. He's like, I just need more Rex Burkhead busting out screen pass for 3 yards or running backwards. I was like, bro, Rex Burkhead
So
is
I
not
just looked
good.
it up. John Weeks did sign a 1-year deal. And he's making...
I ain't seen him on the Instagram Texans highlights in training camp.
1.37.
I'm sure they got him off in the side of the bubble somewhere just throwing balls under his legs. Like, bro, I'm cutting you.
$1.37 million to put a ball between your legs.
And Nick Casario, if you're watching this, come on, bro.
You know who I'm mad at? I'm mad at Mama and Daddy for not letting us play football. We could have at least been long snappers.
Bruh.
1.3, bro. I'll take half of that, and I'll snap the ball. Like, just let me on a punt. I'll take half of that, and he don't even have to tackle people. Like, he long snaps and then he gets off the field. He don't even have to go hit nobody.
Yeah. What you thought on Townsend, the punter from Kansas City over there? Didn't make a play, didn't tackle nobody, but ran up to talk shit. I said, hey, he's a good fit. He's on that Pat McAfee energy. I like that.
I guess. I liked Johnston, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think Townsend's probably going to be better. He's got a leg, dude. Yeah. I can't believe we're talking special teams, but it is what it is. But no, so I'm excited about the Texans still. The run game does worry me a little bit. Can I tell you what doesn't worry me at all is this BS about Stephon Diggs already being a cancer to the team.
Right.
We've seen the highlight a few times now, and I see 2 guys talking football.
Yeah.
That's all I see. And CJ Stroud doesn't look upset. He does look
confused right here. Watch. He's gonna point like, "What the hell are you pointing at, bro?" He's like, "What you talking about?" So I think Diggs just comes with a lot of energy. I think they're talking ball. I don't know what they're saying. Yeah. It doesn't look like they're arguing. He's talking about running routes and all this stuff. He's got a lot of energy, bro.
I think Diggs is like, man, I don't care if I'm sitting over there by the popcorn man. You still throw me the ball.
He's gonna have a C on his chest this year. Let's be real,
touchdown.
bro. And I think Diggs won't be a problem.
It doesn't matter if he is, because he's gonna be gone after a year anyway.
I think that he won't be a problem, but no matter what he does, the media is gonna run with it.
100%.
If he shows any type of frustration, irritation, which is gonna happen, you're a grown man playing football. The media is gonna blow it up. Look at this guy; he's ripping the team apart. So
everything with him has been overblown. A reporter at Buffalo training camp asked Josh Allen recently if he. First of all, this is a dumb question, and this is why I want to be a reporter.
Right.
He goes up to Josh Allen and asks him during training camp, "Do you miss Stephon Diggs?" Now, what is Josh Allen supposed to say to that?
I didn't even see that.
Josh Allen's supposed, man, I sure do miss him. These fools suck. Man, I hope we can trade for him in the middle of the season. What is he supposed to say?
Yeah.
What he said was, well, I wouldn't use the word miss. Obviously, you miss the juice he brings every week. So I guess, and he says, yeah, in that sense you miss him, but I'm really confident in the young guys we have here. And everybody blew that completely out of proportion.
Stephon Diggs
Josh Allen doesn't miss Stephon
bro.
Diggs. He doesn't miss him. Like, what was he supposed to say?
He's
Start
a
crying?
headline snatcher, bro. He's going to be on headlines all year. I think
apparently Josh Allen should have started crying, and then they would have been like, "Oh, okay, I guess he really does miss him." Like, that's just a dumb question. Do you miss your best receiver?
Right. Probably,
but are you going to say that?
Right.
Hell no. Like, you just drafted a guy who's supposed to be your new number one. You're trying to move forward. I thought it was a stupid question to ask in the first place.
Well, the media always asks stupid questions. Let's keep it a buck. I will say that I think that Josh Allen, watching the highlights and stuff from last year, felt like he had to feed Diggs. And I don't know if that's because Diggs was in his ears like, give me the ball. I think the times that I've seen Diggs get mad, I'm watching a guy that knows he's the most talented receiver on the team. He wants to win, and the team's not winning. But I also seen Josh Allen force Diggs the ball. And I think he's not going to have that issue with CJ. I think CJ's going to be like, get open, bro. And if you're open, you better get open first, because whoever gets open first, I'm hitting them. It don't matter who you are.
Well, also, the Buffalo Bills, they changed their offensive coordinator in the middle of the season.
Right.
And after that happened, honestly, Stephon Diggs' numbers fell way off.
Right.
After they made a change at offensive coordinator. And I don't know if, a lot of people speculated that, Josh Allen was basically shutting him out, not throwing him the ball. Yeah. I don't know if that's the truth or not. But obviously, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just because it's the offseason, so we need drama. But yeah, they've been going in on that big time. And to me, it's nothing to see here if you ask me. And it's unfortunate that, like you said, anything he does,
all year long,
it's going to be under a microscope.
But like you said about the running game, I think one thing that is a positive, I don't want to do it back to back, is we were successful last year with absolutely no run game. So I don't think we need to be the number one rushing offense in the league. They need to have a solid run game. You talked about the run game in the past. I'm honest with you, bro. I haven't seen a great run game or a run game that I enjoyed watching for this team since Foster left. Like, I didn't like Alfred Blue. Really, you go through, when Hyde was here, he ran pretty good.
That's the type of run game we're supposed to be doing now. Yeah. And honestly, Singletary had a couple games.
Yeah, Singletary was all right.
Had a couple games last year. Yeah. And I was kind of surprised they didn't bring him back.
I like Mixon better than... I like Mixon better. Mixon can be Joe Mixon.
I like Joe Mixon.
As long as he's not whooping people after the game.
Has dealt with a lot of injuries, though. Let's keep it 100. And I don't know, man. If the first time I don't know, obviously they're playing a lot of reps in practice together, but if the first time the starting O-line and the starting running back sees live action is day one of the opening of the season when we're playing the Colts, that might be a problem, bro. I don't know.
I think Agumbawale going to be ready. He's going to be like, man, you need me to kick. I'll return the kick. I'll kick off. I'll kick the field goal.
Realistically, I mean, Agumbawale,
I like that dude.
Is a serviceable running back. But realistically, dude, you need Joe Mixon to, like you said, be Joe Mixon, get 1,000+ yards, be able to run the ball at the end of the game, kill the clock if you have a lead. And if you add that to what was already a really good offense, and then you think about how the offense suffered with the big play when Tank Dell got hurt. Now you're going to have Tank Dell and Nico. And, I mean, the offense has the potential to be really, really great.
They're going to be some good players that don't make this team. If they get a running
game, bro, it'll be unstoppable.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I'm worried about is, are they going to be able to run the ball?
CJ got to stay healthy. You got to run the ball. Yeah. I think that our OC is one of the best in the game. He's going to scheme guys open. One of the players, I wanted to talk about the people that I think just from that eyeball test, I think their stock's going up over the last 2 preseason games. But one of them in particular that's on that list is Cade Stover. I know that he has history with C.J. Stroud back at Ohio State. And I know he's a utility guy. He's one of those guys that's like, hey, coach, what you want me to do? I'll sweep up the floor, I'll mop, and, I'll go home and cook for you and your family. So I think about coming from that Shanahan offense, coming from that San Francisco, I think about Deebo Samuel. Now, I'm not saying Cade Stover's Deebo Samuel, but having a utility guy in the offense that can run different things. You can put him at tight end, you can put him at receiver, you can have him come out of the backfield and be a threat anywhere in the field. I think potentially he can be that guy. Maybe not this year, but in the future, I think that he's got a skill set that can do that. Hot take, I said it here first.
No, actually, if you listen to my show, I said he was my favorite pick of the draft when they picked him. I'm not saying
he was until the preseason started.
Yeah, he was my favorite pick of the draft.
I'm gonna tell you who my favorite pick was as of right now.
Go for it. Because before we switch to the Astros, I wanted you to go ahead and you said you had some stock up, stock down.
So I want to, absolutely. I want to talk about the guys that I've seen. And like I said, I'm not talking about stats, just past the eyeball test. First one out the gate, Cam Akers. I think for the injuries that he's faced and the deep backfield that he's in, where he's probably, the 4th or 5th back on the roster, he ran his ass off in the preseason game. And he hit the hole hard. That was one play where they had C.J. Stroud hyped up on the sideline. I like that energy. And I think that he's raising his stock. And later down the season, he could be 2, back 3, a rotational back, running with Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce if Dameon Pierce gets it together. The next person, the same guy I talked about, Cade Stover. I like Cade. I can tell, you can see that chemistry between him and Stroud. I was watching a play in the preseason where Diggs came open. And as soon as he came open, he was ready for the ball. But CJ went to Cade. I think there may be a little trust factor there. And I think that he's on the right track. The things that I'm hearing about in training camp, he's grinding, he's working hard, he's doing all the right things. He's a leader. He was a captain at Ohio State. Him and CJ are like brothers. That's great. One guy that surprised me, who I thought maybe might not make this roster when we made all these moves in the offseason to bring in receivers and like Diggs, Xavier Hutchinson. I think Xavier Hutchinson had a great first game. He got himself open. Now, Mills was impressive. He was still throwing some Davis Mills balls here and there. And I think that Xavier went through and made some plays. Another guy, you're going to be like, how is he stock up? But sometimes when you go make a big name free agency signing in the offseason, it doesn't always work out. Amon Green, Calvin Cato, we want our money back. But Daniil Hunter, man, he played a few snaps, but he was explosive. He was in the backfield. The sack he had on Fields, like, first of all, Daniil is ripped, dude. If you don't test this dude for steroids, how did Daniil Hunter get popped? Not Daniil Hunter. How did
Danico
Autry get popped? But Daniil Hunter ain't get a drug test. This dude got veins popping out of his neck. He looks like a Madden created player, bro. Like when you put somebody on all 99, he looks like a blitz player. But he gets this sack on Justin Fields, and it looked like he literally tapped his arm. And this dude like flew through the air, did a 360. I was like, I like to see that. I can't wait to see him with Will Anderson. I think his stock's up. I think he's gonna go ahead and be what we thought he was gonna be. But one of the rookies we talked about, my favorite rookie so far that's making plays in the preseason, Kalen Bullock, number 41, the safety. I think that his play is some of the reason that they're moving Jalen Petrie to the nickel. Either that or Simmons is still out there. I don't know what's up with that, but I like those guys. I think their stock's going up. And just for a bonus, I hope Lonnie Johnson gets cut tomorrow because I feel like he's bad juju because he was on the team that blew the lead to the Chiefs. So
I don't know what Justin Simmons is waiting for. I don't know if there's teams like battling one another or if he just don't want to go to training camp. Like, I don't. But like you got to get in somewhere and like learn the scheme. And that's a weird thing, bro. The Texans get Justin Simmons.
Yeah,
and they got the cap space to do it. Man, I'm really looking forward to football, man. I can't wait for the season.
You know what scared me about that signing? I remember being a Texan fan after 2012, and we lost to the Ravens in the playoffs, and then we go get Ed Reed, and I was like, boy, we got Ed Reed. And if you remember, we won the first two games. He came back week 3. We lost every game of the season. He got traded to the Jets middle of the season. So I hope taking a guy that's been successful towards the end of his career at the safety position doesn't end up like Ed Reed.
He's not as old as Ed Reed was, though.
Yeah,
Ed Reed was old, bro.
Ed Reed was like 58.
Ed
Reed was old.
Must have like lied on his birth certificate because he looked like he was about 80.
Yeah, that dude was old.
Playing out there.
He got paid, though.
Yeah.
Shout out to players out there to get their money and
robbed.
coaches.
That's why you
David
got
Culley. David Culley.
Dudes who robbed. They robbed Ed. They robbed Ed.
Oh,
Reed.
yeah. I do remember that.
They took like a bag of his money or something.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, that's what you get because you robbed the Texans.
Yeah. H-Town was grimy. We showed up outside Matt Schaub's house, burning jerseys and trying to beat him up for throwing interceptions.
See, bro.
Like, bro, we don't tolerate that. Look at that BS down here at H-Town.
This is the exact reason I started this podcast, man. As the president of Houston sports, look, we can be passionate, but we got to be better than that. And I don't mind the irrationalness of being a fan. Like, that's part of it. But when the world is watching, man, I'm not going to lie, bro. Some of the Texans fans in AFC South war zone, I'll be like, bro, would you delete this post?
Yeah.
Sometimes their posts are terrible. I'm like, bro, you're making us look bad.
Yeah.
They can't spell.
I be seeing comments like I text, so like I don't be getting like all into it. And then like when you get on somebody's ass, that's gonna be their number one go-to. Like they're gonna get on your punctuation and all that shit. And I'm like, bro.
I mean, only
when your only comeback though,
only if they're petty like me. I do that.
Like if I get on your ass about your team and you're like, huh, you didn't use a comma, you didn't use a period. Like, boy, shut up. We got Will Levis eating mayonnaise. Boy, get out of here. And bro, the Titans fans, first of all, let's real quick, Warzone.
Yeah.
I was watching the draft. I was watching the post on Facebook, and y'all were sitting there laughing that Levis was still in the room. Y'all wanted CJ Stroud. Y'all wanted somebody else. Mm-hmm. And when y'all got him, like I remember a lot of Titans fans being like, bro, what are we doing? And now, bro, he's like their Lord and Savior over there in Tennessee, which is cool. I hope he has a good year. I hope, honestly, if I'm real, I hope that the whole AFC South elevates. I ain't gonna lie, Anthony Richardson throwing the ball looks bad, but I mean he's like to me he's a big ass running back.
It's pretty
playing
season,
quarterback.
Man. We'll see. I'm not gonna lie and say I want Anthony Richardson to be successful. I want that dude to suck. I'm not gonna lie. Like
I want us to stop him from running because that's where he killed us.
I want him to be trash.
Week 1, bro. If they can't stop him from running and he does the exact same thing he did to us last year,
eventually
I'll
he'll
be pissed off.
And eventually he's going to have to throw. Like, we have a much better contained pass rush and all that stuff now. Like, I think the Texans will be much better against mobile quarterbacks.
You're going to have a spy on them.
In my opinion.
Maybe Christian Harris, somebody that's fast, that's just sitting there waiting for him to come out of the pocket.
In my opinion, they're going to be better against those type of quarterbacks. Yeah. But it remains to be seen, bro. I just can't wait for the season to start. I'm done with preseason football. Like, I'm ready for some real football.
I'm taking my daughter this weekend to a game, and then I'm going to take my oldest to the next, and then his wifey all season long. We got the season tickets, man. We're going to be up in that thing.
Are you seeing this?
Shout out to baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How you doing?
But yeah, the state of the Houston Texans, the state of the union for the Houston Texans, I would say is very strong. We're optimistic. Let's just get that running game. If they get the running game, bro, I'm gonna start screaming Super Bowl pretty soon. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Well, these corners, corners too, though. They got to still prove it. I like the rookie corner. I like Lassiter. I want to see some guys step up behind Lassiter and play good because, like, if you start a rookie at corner, it's going to be like Kareem Jackson. They're going to attack that dude. They're going to stay away from Stingley, and so Lassiter going to have to be ready if they start him out there because they're going to go after his behind. People that can't throw, Anthony Richardson, he's going to go after that boy. So
I think he's going to be good though, man. I'm just ready to see it I'm ready to see the real deal. So the state of the Houston Texans is very, very strong though. Let's go ahead and move on real quick, Josh, to the state of the Houston Astros. Guys, Ryan Presley is trying to do his best to give up a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 8th. He's got bases loaded, and it's 3-2. I'm not gonna crap on Presley too bad because he has been better. The bullpen has been better, but man, the Astros,
they'll break your heart.
They absolutely will. This has been a weird season, bro. It's been a weird season. And here's the thing.
They're the best bad team in baseball. For real.
I mean, we're still in first place by like a half a game.
No, they're the best. Worst team. The best. They're the absolutely best bad team in baseball.
But yeah, it's like it's this Jekyll and Hyde thing they got going on.
Right.
And a lot of it, we've already stated, a lot of it is injuries. A lot of it is guys who are having to contribute that they weren't expecting to. But I don't understand how they can go 1 week and sweep the Boston Red Sox, win 2 out of 3 from the Rangers, and are just absolutely boat racing people. And keep in mind, they have won 6 in a row, and they haven't lost this game yet. But this is exactly what happens, though, man. They'll win a few in a row, and then something like this will make them go on a 5-game losing streak. Right. And it's like, what's going to happen when the stakes get higher? Now, the good news is that Justin Verlander is supposed to be close to coming back. He's throwing pitches in Sugarland. They say that Luis Garcia will be close to coming back. My thing is, man, the Astros, I've stopped trying to, as I've gotten older, and I know baseball is not your favorite sport, Josh. I know. I
like the Astros. I like to go to the game.
Yeah.
I don't like listening to it on the radio. I'll tell you what.
No, so for sure. But baseball is one of those sports that as I've gotten older, I've started to appreciate more. Now, I'm kind of an old head, so I don't really like the pitch clock and stuff like that. I think that's a big reason a lot of these pitchers are getting hurt. I think that's a big reason a lot of pitchers who...
that was a home run.
I know, right? Sorry, we're over here. We're doing the show and watching Presley try to give up. He's got bases loaded. It's 3-2 again.
And he just drove a foul ball out of the
Brandon Lowe hit
crowd.
like 17 foul balls in a row. You guys might be watching the game rather than listening.
I think one thing with it, though, like, I know these guys do this every year, but, bro, there's way too many games in baseball. So it's like, bro, you can't be dominant every game, and maybe that's contributing to some of their hot cold streaks. But like, bro, if I was a baseball player, I ain't gonna lie, but like, I'm taking this game off, bro. Like, we got 100 more games to go.
No. That is a very good point, and I think. Oh, did he get out of it?
Yeah, he got out of it.
Oh, that's only they still got another out to go.
Yeah, he got out of that one.
That's good,
bro. We do a live reaction to them blowing this lead on live.
Oh, see, no, he drove in a run though, because they only had So it's 3-2 now. Hopefully Presley can get one more out. And,
I literally went out to eat with my family the other day, and they hit a home run, right? So, of course, the whole place goes crazy. Whole place goes crazy. So I pull out the phone, hit it on the Snapchat. H-Town, baby, we hit the home run. Literally 5 minutes later, we lost the game. So I had to like do another video, and it had the
It's crazy, man. And here's the thing. That's the ebbs and flows of baseball, though. And I will say, I think probably all fans, but I don't care about all fans. I care about Houston fans, especially with the game of baseball. Baseball teaches you patience because in baseball, like you said, it's a long season.
Yeah.
You might have a 6-game losing streak, but there's 161 games or 62 games. Like, you can't be like, fire everybody. Like, you still have 150 something games left.
But be real, does that take away the excitement for you? Because like the reason why, like I think
the season too long.
I think the football season's too long. I think 16 weeks was fine, right? 17 weeks, I think that's a long time plus the preseason to play football. Your body's gonna break down eventually. Like when we got to the playoffs, we were kind of beat up, right? But when you lose 3 games in the NFL, bro, that is devastating to your season. Devastating. Like that could knock you out of playoff contention. You could lose 3 games in baseball, be like, oh, that's cool, bro. We got like 150 games left. Shit, we good.
Yeah. And no, it'll never change. The baseball season's not going to get shorter. I do think it's too long.
Yeah.
I don't know. I say it'll never change. Something's got to give because if you're going to have this pitch clock and all these teams, all these pitchers are blowing their arms out, you're going to have to do something different. Either play less games.
Get AI pitchers.
Or expand your rosters. Maybe you can expand your rosters and maybe instead of every 5 days, pitchers start pitching every 7 days. Like, I don't know what the solution is, but...
Robots, bro. They got robots.
I hate the pitch clock. I hope they get rid of it. I don't think they will. Because they don't really care about old head baseball. They want new baseball fans. And the game, I don't mind when a game goes 6-7 hours, bro. Because to me, it's like when those 14-inning games, to me, I enjoy that type of stuff. But I understand. Don't nobody want to sit.
I enjoy it the next morning on YouTube, boy. I'm going to sleep. I ain't got time for this. I got to get up early for work tomorrow.
At a game for 6. No, and there's a lot of those games that would do that, and half the stadium would be empty by the time it was over because nobody wanted to stick around and watch it. But I don't know. For me, when I think about the Astros this season, and I've said this multiple times, I'm not going to panic because so many times I've written off the Astros and they come back and they make you believe. And so many times I've been like, oh, we finally figured it out. And then they go on one of these skids. But baseball, if anything, 2005 is really the season that taught me to not freak out about anything in baseball. Even in the postseason, you think about in 2017, the ALCS, the Astros win the first 2 games. They lose 3 in a row to the Yankees. And everybody was like, oh, it's over. Right. It's over. Like, you don't think the Astros can win 2 games at home?
Uh-oh.
That was a foul ball. My brother got caught watching. Ooh. Yeah, we're trying to hang on to this lead right now, 3-2. Bottom of the 8th. There's a man on 2nd and 3rd.
I feel like they're gonna lose because they're watching.
Presley's struggling.
Turn it off.
Maybe that's the case. But no, I would say, as I said in my, I'm gonna mention my ESPN Rock the Mic video. I'm gonna let you guys know a little bit more about that later. But in that video, I mentioned that. How you feel about them just depends on what week it is and how they're doing. But of all the teams in the city, man. Okay, so Presley got out of it.
Got him.
He got out of the 8th with a 3-2 lead. So we might. I'm not going to jinx it. We might have a 7-game win streak on our hand.
They're going to put out Rex Burkhead to pitch.
But at the end of the day, man, the state of the Houston Astros, I would say, is good. It's funny. I want to talk about this before we move on because you told a story before we got going about how the football game and the baseball game was on.
Right.
There were some gentlemen who were in the ESPN Rock the Mic, and I want you guys to know that I may be in that competition, but I still support the other viewers, or I'm sorry, the other contestants, and I've watched their videos. I've watched their videos. I've even hit like on a couple that I liked. But I saw these gentlemen, they were talking about, is Houston a baseball town or a football town? And I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I think the Houston Astros could win 20 World Series in a row. And if the Texans won one, it's a football town.
Well, think about all the fans that you still have, like the old heads that still love the Oilers, that still are mad about the colors. They never won a Super Bowl, but they were passionate about them, right?
Yeah,
they were diehard about them. This is Texas, bro. High school football, college football, it don't matter. I think that right now you can say it's a baseball town because the Astros gave the city something to be proud of. Mm-hmm. Gave us something to be happy about. They won a championship. The Rockets had championships. If they start winning again, it's going to be a basketball city. This is one of those cities where like everybody rides for the H-Town team. But when the Texans ultimately go ahead and do that, bro, you're not going to be able to tell us anything. I mean, like all the people, the Steelers fan, hey, we got 6 rings. Cowboys fans, hey, we got 5 rings. Nobody in the city's going to care, bro. Like we finally, like when you thirst for something so long and you've had so many good teams in Houston that something went wrong, right? And knock on wood, we hope that don't happen this year. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. We're going to hope DeMeco Ryans and C.J. Stroud are the savior of the Houston Texans. But, man, Texas, period, is a football state. So I think that H-Town is a football city. But at the same time, if every team in the Houston area suck, but the Dynamo are about to win a championship, bro, you catch people with the orange jerseys on out there representing for the Dynamo. I remember dudes walking around with Comets jerseys on when the Comets were winning championships. So yeah, man, it's all good.
Hey man, I rep H-Town 10 toes down. And you're right. If any team in the Houston wins a championship, if it's the Dynamo did win a championship.
Right.
And everybody in Houston was excited about that. When you're winning, it's gonna go good for you. We've already seen that when the Astros were trash, nobody went to those games.
Yeah,
nobody went to those games.
I was in NRG when people stopped going.
Well,
real talk.
But you have to understand the first 20 years of Texans' existence.
Yeah,
even in the years they were trash.
Yeah.
That place was packed out because Houston loved.
We made the change.
Football.
We made them get rid of Easterby. We stopped spending money with them.
Right, but I'm just saying. Before that, eventually. People didn't stop going to the games because they don't love football, though.
Right.
They were tired of what they were seeing on the field.
Right.
So my thing is that for the Houston Texans, like I said, if the Astros won 20 World Series in a row, if the Texans won 1, it's still going to be a football town. It'll always be a football town.
Yeah, man, it's Texas, man.
And that's just how I feel about it. So,
H-Town, hold it down.
The Astros hopefully will add to this lead, but I don't know, man. With the Astros, I'm just going to say be patient. It's funny because in that video I said the state is strong but kind of shaky, and that's kind of an oxymoron. Like, how can you be strong and shaky?
Hey, all of us.
It's kind of like when you got that
everyday
table.
life.
It's kind of like when you got that table where it's got 3 good legs, but one of them's kind of wobbly. You know, that's how I would describe the Astros right now.
And that's the American ways. It's like
and
when you
hopefully,
go to work,
for
good
sure.
energy, and then you want to quit at the end of the day.
And hopefully, what's going to happen is that the Justin Verlanders and the Luis Garcias and everybody we're getting back is going to shore up that 4th leg, man. And we go into the playoffs, win this division, and hopefully, man, get a chance to go back to the World Series. That would be amazing. And here's the thing. If the Astros make it to the ALCS or the World Series this season, you guys can never complain about the Astros during the regular season again, because they've been written off in 2005. They've been written off in 2015, they kind of choked. But in everybody wanted to get rid of Dusty Baker the whole 3 years he was here. And all they did was go to the ALCS in the World Series.
They want him back now.
So if they get there now, you guys cannot complain about the Astros anymore. Okay? Right, so I'm going to put my earbuds in again because I just realized we're going to bring on Mike Duncan, and I won't be able to hear him if I don't have these in. So the state of the Houston Astros is stable. That's what we'll call it. You good with that?
I'm good.
All right. Let's go ahead and do
Medicated.
the state of the Houston Dynamo. Mike Duncan is in the building. Mike, how's it going, bud? Can you hear us? Let's see if we can hear you. Are you muted? I didn't mute you.
Yeah,
Hold
can
on.
you hear me?
There you go. We got you.
I can hear you now. All right. We've got a little bit of delay in the video, but that's fine because we have a listening audience as well. It's good to see you, man. You got the Still Holding jersey on?
Yeah, rocking it.
Absolutely. So it's good to see you, man. It's been a while. It's been a minute. I appreciate you for coming on and doing this. I've missed you a few times. So we want to talk some Houston Dynamo because, like I said, we rep H-Town. 10 toes down. So I wanted to get you to catch us up on what's going on with the Dynamo's season. The last I checked, they're still sitting in 6th place.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, so catch us up because they got a game coming up on the 24th. Sixth place still technically gets you in what's considered a playoff, right? But is there any chance they can make their way up those standings?
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, it's good to be back on. Since I last was on, what did we have? We had a couple tornadoes. We had a hurricane.
You ain't lying.
And I was affected by that, so that kind of took me off the grid for a while. But
yeah. I'm glad you're good, though, man. Glad you're safe.
Yeah, good. And to be honest with you, we were at the game when the hurricane hit.
No way.
How diehard I am. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So
I can't believe they didn't cancel the game for hurricanes. We just canceled the preseason game because of rain.
Yeah, they canceled it, but they made us wait in the inside of the stadium for 2 hours before they did. So
nice.
Yeah, not very smart. Not good planning. So Houston Dynamo. Since then, we've had a lot of stuff going on. We had the Euros happening. We had also the Copa. That's our version of it here. It was all about Messi in the United States and overseas in Europe. They had their tournament. And then, of course, we've had the Olympics. And then currently what we've got going on right now is basically MLS versus Mexico. So this is the Leagues Cup that's going on right now. And unfortunately, kind of fortunately, because I don't really care about this tournament too much. It depletes the team. It creates injuries. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these, unless you're from Mexico, a lot of these teams you don't know or care too much about going forward. So we did advance in the first round and get to the round of 32, and we played a Mexican team, Toluca. We gave them a good run, and typical Dynamo, unfortunately, we couldn't finish off the game. Went to PKs, and we lost in penalties. But the two bright spots that are happening for the Dynamo right now are two brand new signings. It's not Messi or any big name like that, but we have typical Dynamo. We got about $850 we can spend on two guys, and we managed to find them. So one of the guys, his name is Ezequiel Ponce. He's from Argentina. He's a 27-year-old, and actually he's a pretty proven kid. He's been playing across the pond. He just finished up in Greece. He also played for AF Roma, and then he's also obviously grown up in the Argentinian youth academy system. So he's our new striker. We talked about this last time I was on. Yeah. We needed some depth there, anyone to get some goals for us, and he's supposed to be the guy that helps solidify that. So right now he's still trying to find out where he fits in this team, but he's starting to find his footing. He's gotten a couple goals already, and I think the future is bright. We signed this guy for at least through 2027. And we spent a fair bit of cash on him. I think we're somewhere around $7 or $8 million, and in Dynamo money, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. You've been telling me that you've been clamoring for them to spend a little bit of money to bring someone in. So do you see this as the Dynamo listening to the fans? Did they hear what you guys were saying? Or is this more of a strategic move because they want to try to advance up in those standings?
Yeah, they still don't listen to the fans. I think this is a front office move. I will say that the guys that they do have in the front office and the owner is listening. That's a good thing, and that's a good start. So it is to try to move up the standings. It is to try to create some depth and really just try to solidify this team. So the other kid that we got, his name is Lawrence Inali, and he's actually from Berlin. But if you look at him, you definitely think he's Hispanic. But he's a 22-year-old, speed demon on the wing. And the times that I've seen this kid play, he is fast. And he is very good on the ball. And I was shocked. I thought, anytime you get youth in there, it's going to take time. They're going to be on the second team. It's going to take time to develop. I would start this kid every game. He is a difference maker. So, again, some small pieces around, not really splashing the cash too much, but I think adding enough right now to keep us above the line for the playoffs and give us a good push. And like I said, now that everybody's still dealing with this tournament, they can also see, again, Messi didn't play in this one. Stands have been empty. So this Leagues Cup is just adding too many games, I think, to an already very full schedule.
The Leagues Cup, it's over now, right? Will they be getting back to MLS play coming up soon?
No, it's soon. Yeah, so it's still going on. We're out of it, but it'll go on this week. That's why we don't have a game until the 24th.
Oh,
because
okay.
This Leagues Cup is still going on. So,
Okay.
some of the teams is still in there. The normal from Mexico, Club America, Tigres, those teams, they're still part of it. And also LAFC and the norm. So we'll let them fight each other, Miami FC and all those. And then let's get back to business. So, August 24th is the first game back of the season.
Okay. So this Leagues Cup, if you would, for those of us who aren't super familiar with MLS and soccer, basically it's similar to the NBA, what they just implemented, like an in-season tournament.
Yeah, it's to generate revenue. They know that really within America, the Hispanic population is huge. The growth of soccer, football is massive. And I think they thought if they could introduce some Mexican teams into a tournament, the draw would be there, the interest would be there.
Did it work?
We could really have. It would have worked if Messi would have played.
Okay.
But I think in some other teams, Dynamo, some of the other smaller market teams that are playing smaller market Mexican teams, it didn't work.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you remember, but here in Houston, Tigres did play Miami, and they played at NRG. And they played at NRG because Messi was supposed to play. Well, guess what? After the Copa, Messi got his ankle injured, and he didn't play. So everybody who thought they'd be very smart and buy $500 to $1,000 tickets and try to resell them on SeatGeek took a bath on that. So, wow. So NRG was full. Mexican fans, Tigres fans showed out, but of course, all the Messi hopeful stayed at home or tried to sell their tickets for cheap. But I think overall the concept is there. I think the idea to try to generate some interest, get the Hispanic population involved in MLS and vice versa, because again, I think for the fair weather fan, that they need to also get involved with football outside of just what Messi does.
Understood. Well, I tell you what, man, I still want to go a game. The video you sent me a few months ago, and I've heard 1,000 times about how awesome the atmosphere is. I would love to go to a game. And if we got a couple of guys who are going to help light up that scoreboard a little bit more, that'd be even better.
Yeah.
Because for guys like us, the laid fan, if you want to, that's what we want to see. We want to see that ball going through the net.
Might be 1-0, but we want to see an exciting 1-0.
Right.
Absolutely. And listen, I'm a diehard fan and can appreciate the beautiful game, and I don't want to see 0-0. So understand that we are American fans, and we do, not to say run up the scoreboard, but we definitely don't want to just watch what we would consider a boring game. We want it. Want it to the excitement. If it does go to penalties, we do want that excitement. And I think them adding elements in there, like having a penalty shootout and things like that, is to try to generate some of that excitement. Like one of the things MLS has that Europe doesn't have is we have a playoff race. In Europe, once you win first place, you won the league, which to us, that's unthinkable. Because you definitely want the 8th seed, 7th seed to try to knock off the number 1 seed, right? So
of course.
Those are the fun things that some of the things that we're doing. But yeah, I definitely think we got some more firepower and plenty of reason to be excited for us to. In my heart, we're definitely going to make the playoffs, but I want more than that. I want us to make a good run too.
I think our stream might have frozen. I'm not sure. We'll double check it. One more question I wanted to ask you though. What do you think their chances are against Toronto coming up?
Very good. Toronto's struggling right now. They're a club that's in a little bit of a rebuild. They definitely overspent over the last few years. So now they've had to kind of cut down their roster and move some pieces around. So to me, again, at home, no reason to me, every home game should be a win.
Yeah.
And then now with this team and the way we're clicking, we really are playing a hell of a lot better than we were at the beginning of the season.
Okay. So you're going to be there loud and proud at Shell Oil, huh?
Yeah. So they called it Hell in the Shell. So
Hell in the
that's
Shell.
where we're going.
I like that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, I would love to have an opportunity to go to a game. I'm going to definitely make that happen at some point. Mike, what I hope we can do is we can continue to follow the Dynamo for the rest of the season.
Yep.
You can keep coming back. And like I said, the point of me doing this segment was because I wanted to educate myself on the game. And I wanted to encourage other Houstonians to rep, to support just another one of our Houston teams. Because if you love this city, we want to rep all of them. And we don't want to risk maybe losing a sports team because everything that does for the community, everything it does for the fans, we want to bring more teams in. I'm ready for hockey to come. I'll even take a WNBA team again. Like I'm ready to have all the sports here. So I would love to continue doing this. I don't know if you know. Oh, I did tell you. I may have an opportunity to get this podcast on ESPN Houston. If that happens, I would love to continue to bring you in and let's talk soccer. And hopefully we're bringing them in instead of them kicking us out, right?
That's it.
All right, Mike. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you worked today. Let's do it again next Tuesday.
Thank you, Mike.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, brother. You take care.
Joe. That
That is Mike Duncan. So graciously.
Astros won, by the way.
Did they just win?
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm trying to close this out real quick. So yeah, that's Mike Duncan. He so graciously come in to educate me on a sport that I know.
You can see his
nothing
passion
about.
though, man. I like when he came on last time. Like he could
Yeah,
tell
for
he
sure.
loves soccer. That's not something I'm familiar with. I would go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just enjoy it. I think, the Orange Crush that they got going on, you can get some drip, go to the game, have a good time.
No, those still Holden jerseys are fire, bro. The purple ones, those are fire. I would rock one of those for sure.
We
think maybe
actually,
you
bro,
could-
we have a
you think
rugby
maybe you
team
could get-
that I didn't know about.
Yeah, we do, the SaberCats.
And they got the powder blue jerseys that they wore.
What?
They wore some powder blue jerseys. They had Trey the Truth come and do a trailer. You got to play it, bro. That
Nice.
was dope.
I have to look into
The
that.
regular jerseys are ugly, but they had some powder blue Oiler looking jerseys because
Bro,
after
we gotta
U
go
of
to a
H
rugby
did it.
game. Let's just find like the most obscure sport we can find and try to get into it. If we got a ping pong team.
Nah, bro. Look, so I made a post the other day. I was like, bro, football season has to come on. I was going through, I got all the channels and stuff. I was going through ESPN. I was watching like ESPN, the Ocho, ESPN 8, and it was a whole bunch of people standing around, and the dudes were just throwing axes at targets. And they're like, the judge would come out and he'd be like, this one won. Everybody would go crazy. I was like, bro, football got to come back, bro. I can't
I'ma
sit here
do
and
you
watch
one
dudes
better.
throw axes
I'm gonna do you one
or
better.
axe.
Do you
I don't know
what
if
saw?
axes is a word, but
Do you know what was on ESPN just a couple of days ago?
What's up?
Roof ball.
roof ball.
Roof ball. Remember when we used to throw a ball up on the roof?
That's a game
And
now?
it would fall up and we catch it?
We did that because we were poor. We couldn't afford no
We had
video
nobody-
games.
We had nobody to throw a ball to us. Bro, they were literally throwing a football on top of the roof and then like
Catching it?
you would get a point if you catch it.
No, we got an ass beat for playing that. Yeah, mama and daddy
Yeah.
watching.
No.
They still missing shingles. 1846 Thistle ain't got no shingles because of us.
We had those clay shingles on that house, so
Yeah.
no, but we did used to get in trouble for that.
Bro,
That's hilarious.
this has
That
nothing to
was
do with
on E
sports.
ESPN.
Well, we tore that house up. We talked about it on the last podcast. I remember one time my ball went over the fence in the backyard because we used to always be playing ball. We'd be playing basketball, football, and I was like, man, I need to get over the fence. Bro, there was a whole gate on the other side of the house. I could have walked around the house, but I was like, man, I'm going to just jump the fence. So I stood on top of the water spout on the water faucet.
sprinkler.
And I stood on top of the water faucet to jump over, and it broke off. And then Dad came home. There was like a hurricane tsunami pouring out of the side of the house, and I didn't know how to turn off the water. Yeah.
Oh man.
To our landlord, we
What's the
apologize.
statute of limitations on? Remember we used to go in the back and throw eggs over the fence? Like we would just chunk them into the back of the neighborhood as hard as we could, and like
we
no
did some
telling where they
stupid
went.
stuff.
We just do some stupid stuff. The statute of limitations on that.
Throwing chicken bones in the camel's car.
Right now, the ESPN guys are watching like, what in the hell?
Yeah. Hey,
Oh
man.
man, it's all good. We were
Yeah.
young, we were stupid, and
Hey, Pat McAfee vibes, man. You gotta love sports, man. We're at the end of the day, we're big sports fans, but at the end of the day, we're real genuine people. I'm a father, you're a father. We got families, we got jobs.
Absolutely.
I gotta go. Just thinking about me going to work tomorrow, trying to put me in a bad mood, but right now I'm going to enjoy this moment. Anybody that joined in with us and you are working or you work today, man, I love that you are here and get to take a little break from reality and talk some sports, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Real quick, I want to do a quick state of the Houston Rockets. And I don't have any Rockets news.
Tracy McGrady got a jaywalking ticket today, and James Harden got kicked out of a strip club.
That's the last time Josh watched the Rockets. Is when those guys played for him. No,
you're like, hey, you watching Green? I'm like, yeah, the dude with the braids with the H in his hair. Like, no, not that Green.
No, you guys know, if you listen to this show, if you know me, the Houston Rockets have always been my favorite team in the city of Houston. Been cheering for the Rockets since I was 6 years old, man. I told you the stories about how I hid under the bed when my parents told me to go to bed so I could listen to the Rockets on the radio. They've always been my favorite team. And one of the coolest things I've done while starting this podcast is interviewed Lashard Binkley, who was a writer for the Dream Shake, which is a website I've read for years as a fan. And so to have him actually come on the show and be so gracious to give me some of his time when he is actually covering the Houston Rockets. He goes to the games. He interviews the players. He interviews the GM, the coaches.
Right.
I always thought, man, how cool of him. I'm a nobody, man. Like, he just came. I texted him, fully expecting him to completely ignore me, like a lot of other Houston media personalities did.
That just means he's a genuine guy. He's a real guy.
Yeah,
Don't forget
man.
where he came
Real
from.
talk,
So
real
shout
talk.
out to him, man.
Absolutely. So
that's
you
a
know,
good move.
I in the midst of this ESPN Houston thing, I sent him a text message and was like, "Hey, man, can you please watch this video and hit like?" Trying to get the show on ESPN, and maybe that would give him more opportunity to come on and talk Rockets. And he's like, "Absolutely, man." He put me in contact with other media personalities on Twitter, put me in a group chat with a bunch of other media guys, and I'm like, man, like, this is just a real dude, man. Like, he had no
paying it forward,
obligation.
bro.
Yeah, he
You
had
putting
no
somebody on.
obligation. And that is one thing that he said, because I did tell him, like, man, I've reached out to a lot of people and they've just straight ghosted me.
Right.
And he said, man, when I was trying to come up in this game, people did the same thing to me. And I promised if somebody ever came to me for help, I wouldn't do the same thing to them. So
Salute to him, man.
absolutely. So I get a text message a couple of days ago. It's almost a week ago now. And he says, "Hey, Nick, would you be interested in writing for the Dream Shake?"
Awesome.
And
Like, hell yeah. But you got to hold back and be professional. Like, yes, sir.
yeah,
would.
I mean, bro,
Yes, I really would like to work with the Dream Shake.
Honestly, bro, I had to read it a couple times because I was like, why does this guy think I had that self-doubt moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm not a writer. I just do a lazy little podcast,
Right.
But I was like, man, absolutely. Something in me, and I made a Facebook post about this a couple of days ago. There's been a lot of cool things that have happened over the past couple of months as far as, the podcast, have a chance to make it to the finale in this ESPN contest, having Lashard on. Like, there's been a lot of positive momentum going. But just a couple of days before he sent me that text message, I was feeling down because there was a lot of things in my life that I needed to take care of that I wasn't taking care of.
Right.
And like, I just decided to have a mind shift. It hit me like this, bro. Like, I got to change something. I got to change my mentality. Everything that I needed to do, I had stuff around the house that was undone. Sheetrock, my yard was messed up, my windows were dirty. And I was like, man, I've been putting all this stuff off because of depression and feeling like, man, it's going to take so much energy to get all this stuff done. And what I did is I decided one day, man, I'm just going to get up and do the first thing and then move on to the next thing.
Right.
And what happened, man, is once I started accomplishing task after task, I got more energized each time I completed something.
Right.
And I was like, man, bro, what I thought was going to take me 5 years to fix in this house, bro. I fixed literally almost all of it in like 2 days.
Yeah. And that's dope that you talk about that, because I think that that's one thing. Like, we talk about sports, men love sports. That's our getaway, right? From the everything else we have to do. Everybody in the household is relying on us to take care of them emotionally, physically, take care of the bills. And sometimes when it comes to our stuff, as men, we're brought up, hey, boys don't cry. Just shut up and deal with it. Or we shut down, get quiet, and watch sports.
Yeah.
And anybody that's on the fence.
I was burying myself in
Yeah.
Madden and NCAA.
Yeah, a lot of people do it. I recently did the same thing. So that's awesome, man. For y'all out there that might be feeling similar way, just get up and do something.
Yeah.
Try something.
Because
go
what
for it.
happened, man, is all of a sudden, I believe fully, man, the energy you put out in the universe it comes back to you, because all of a sudden I start handling things around the house. I start handling my responsibilities.
Right.
I start tending and nurturing to some of my relationships with my wife, with my kids better. And all of a sudden other stuff starts falling into place. So this man texts me, somebody I've written, obviously, in school. I was a pretty good writer.
Right.
And, you know, we grew up in a religion where we had to do public speaking, and we would write our own speeches and stuff like that. But I've never had anything published. I've never even, to think that I could cover the Houston Rockets, man, was a pipe dream. But I was like, you know what, man? I'm going to go for it. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Yeah. He's going to tell me no. So
the Rockets are the devil.
He gave me, yeah. So he gives me his editor's number. I call his editor. He doesn't answer the phone, and immediately I'm like, "Oh, that's a bad sign," because Lashard told me I gave him your number, so I'm thinking this dude's expecting my call. So when I call and he don't answer, I'm thinking he's like, "Ooh, block." You know what I mean? So, but he actually called me back, and he texted me back, and he said, "Hey, man, send me a writing sample, and let me, you know, if it's any good, I'll call you and give you an interview." So I sent him a little sample writing. I wrote about Gene Peterson, the old play-by-play announcer for the Houston Rockets, and kind of just told that experience about. It was more of a personalized story than X's and O's and, you know, points, rebounds, and stuff like that.
Like you did on the ESPN show, like just
yeah. So that's what I wrote about, and he called me or he texted me back. He's like, "Hey man, can you do an interview on Friday at noon?" I'm like, "That's a bet." So he did. This was kind of old school, man. He did a phone interview. Like, we didn't do face to face. We did a phone interview, and I just told him straight up, man, like, you can count on me to do this job because, listen, I'm passionate about the Rockets. I'm gonna talk about the Rockets. I'm gonna write articles in my head. I'm gonna talk about it on my podcast. Like, I'm gonna be following this team. So, I just want the opportunity, man. I was like, as far as writing goes, I'm probably not the best, but I will learn. I will listen. And I just told him straight up, like, it would be a dream come true to do it. And I fully expected he was going to say, "Thank you, great interview." But he said, "Look, man, I got a couple other people I'm interviewing," which I took that to mean, like, I got to go talk to the people who are actually getting this job.
Right.
And it's that self-doubt thing, man. And I'm telling you guys, anybody who has that, you've got to get rid of it. And I'm getting close to the point where I'm telling that voice to shut the hell up, because it's always going to be there.
Gotta keep a good support system too.
Yeah, 100%. So man, Monday came and I couldn't sleep, man. I was nervous. I was like, I just wanted to know, even though I really, really thought he was gonna say no. I just needed to hear the answer, and I wanted to have an opportunity to ask him, "Hey, man, if I can't get it this time around, like, how can I position myself better next time to get this job?" So he calls me back, because I called him and he didn't answer, and I thought, once again, that's not a good sign. But I called and left him a voicemail like, "Hey, just wanted to see if you made a decision."
He was acting like an ex-girlfriend. They get a call back. "Don't leave me on red."
For sure. Actually, I text Whitney, my wife, first. I was like, "Should I call him?" And she was like, "Yes." So I was like, "All right." So I called him.
That's good. Shout out to Whitney for giving him that encouragement.
Yeah, for sure. He called me back, and, you know, he was kind of beating around the bush at first, man. He was telling me, like, about some stuff he had going on in his personal life, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'm like, he's drawing this out on purpose, right? So, like, he's talking, and all of a sudden, like, switches the subject immediately and goes, "Okay, so the job's yours if you want it." And I'm like,
hell yeah!
For real? I couldn't believe it, bro. I started getting emotional with him on the phone, man. I'm like, if you would have told me 2 weeks ago, "Hey, bro, in 2 weeks,
just keep grinding, keep putting your head down," yep,
are going to be covering your favorite team of all time for a national website, and on a website, a blog that is named after the signature move of your all-time favorite player.
Yep.
The Dream Shake." Yep. Like, in a million years, I'd have been like, "You're crazy, bro. There's no way in hell that's going to happen." Yeah. And as of yesterday, I am officially the newest staff writer for
Shout out, man.
SB Nation and
keep
the Dream
going,
Shake,
bro.
man.
Like, all y'all you're never gonna fly if you don't jump off the cliff. So this is the first step, and there's gonna be the next step, and there's gonna be a next step, but you can't get to that next step unless you just take that first step.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you gotta say some of the things that are pulling on you or making you feel down aren't that important. Your energy just has to be shifted towards something else that's positive. And like you said, you started thinking positively, and positive energy came back into your life, and that's awesome.
So today, Darren, who's my editor, he sent me a link to our masthead, and there was, the letterhead, and there was staff writers, and there was my name included. Man, it was crazy, man. I just had to kind of stare at it. I took a screenshot of it.
Is that live chat updated, or is he scrolling down?
What's that?
I was looking at the live chat. I don't know if there's more at the bottom.
Oh yeah,
there's probably with us heavy in the beginning. I don't know. I didn't see if there was anything else under that.
Let's see.
But shout out to moms. See you in there.
This is all
those people.
Yeah. We apologize. We did not. We didn't get to everybody in the chat today because
we started talking, man.
You should have known you weren't going to word in edgewise when me and Josh get on the mic.
We started talking, man. But
when me and Josh get on the mic, you're not going to get a word in edgewise. But Josh, I appreciate you being here, man. This is so fun just to get together. And like you said, talking sports, it is a getaway because there's a lot of difficult things that go on in our life. And I got to tell you, man, one thing. A few weeks ago, I thought doing this for a living, there's no way in hell. And one of the reasons I really hope that I can get on this ESPN podcast is because everybody at ESPN Houston, all those guys, man, I've been listening to like John and Lance. Bro, I've been listening to them since I was in my 20s, bro. Right. They've been doing this every day for 25 years. This is what they do. Lance Zierlein actually is a correspondent for NFL Network. Like, he's one of their scouts. This is what he does for a living, man. And I just want to look those guys in the face. I do this not for a living, for a couple hours a week on my podcast. And now I have the honor of covering the Houston Rockets and writing articles on them. But I want to look those guys in the eye and say, man, I know that sometimes your guy's job probably... It's not as fun as it looks. I'm sure it's hard some days. I'm sure there's some days you don't want to get up and do it. But let somebody like me just remind you how privileged you are, man, to be a sports fan for a living. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because like I said, man, you're gonna be a Texans fan no matter what. So imagine being paid to be a Texans fan. Yeah. Like, that stuff's crazy, man. So I hope those guys appreciate that. And even if I don't make it, I hope I make it to the finale just so I can meet them in person. Right. And number one, thank them because, dude, a lot of radio people don't really care for podcasts, to be honest with you. But I think ESPN is being really forward thinking, and they understand that podcast is kind of the future. Most of those guys take their radio show and put it in a podcast and publish it later because they probably realize that more people are going to be listening to it as a podcast than maybe they would be on the radio. Right. But I just think it's really cool that they did that, and I hope I get the opportunity to at least make the finale. Guys, if y'all want to guarantee that happens, I have the link to my audition video for the second round in the description of this video that you're watching right now, and I will have it in the description of the audio once I post the audio. I cannot wait. If I get there, man, I want as many of the people in my circle to show up and show out, baby. Because if I don't win this thing, I want them to think, man, maybe we should have picked him when all of us walk out.
Hey, regardless of what happened, bro, everything gonna happen right on time. So that might not work out and open up another door. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? One thing that I know that you're doing, you're enjoying what you're doing. You have passion. You're gonna keep doing it. My mama, our mama, always said, hey, when you're doing something you love for a living, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's real. That's and I'm trying to find out because right now I feel like I work every day of my life. Man. Shout out to her. Shout out to you. Congratulations on the opportunity. Whatever happens, we're going to make the best of it. And I love being here on the show. Thank you for inviting me. Invite me on anytime. I know I'm more preference towards the Texans, but I enjoyed it, man.
And that's what you're passionate about, man. And that's why I've told you, like, I want this to be a family affair. I have a lot of other plans. That's why I'm really not tripping if this ESPN thing don't happen. What the ESPN thing did for me is kind of gave me the confidence to realize, like, you know what, I can do this. This is possible. Yeah,
manifest it, whatever, no matter what it is.
And I probably wouldn't have done that just a few weeks ago, man. So I want to thank everybody who's voted for me so far. Please continue to do that. I want to make that finale, and I want all of y'all to show up to the finale with me, and let's do this thing. Let's get it. I've said it 1,000 times, man. It's a great time to be a sports fan in the city of Houston. Whether you're a Rockets fan, Astros fan, Texans fan, or if you love all three the way that I do. And I'm trying to get on this Dynamo train too, man. I'm Dynamo, SaberCats. We got the Dash. Like I said, if we got a ping pong team, somebody let me know. I rep H-Town 10 toes
We were
down.
wrestling with the Roughnecks until y'all became the Gamblers. Now it's kind of, we're on the fence with you on that, XFL, UFL.
You know what? I'm glad you called me out on that. I think the sign of a good leader is somebody who can be honest and be humble. And I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I fell off on the Roughnecks, bro.
Yeah, like, that ain't the Roughnecks. The Roughnecks are in San Antonio. You know what I mean?
That's the truth, man.
And I can't rep San Antonio. Like, I love that there's another Texas team. I can't be out here repping San Antonio, bro. That's why I don't get the Houston people, natives that rep cities, teams. We're homers, so we're not going to get it. If you grew up watching a team, I guess.
We're old school, man. We're old school, man.
That's
I think
cool,
people are more fans of individuals than they are teams now.
Yeah, for sure.
You got Steph Curry fans in Houston. You got
There was
Kevin
no
Durant fans.
Wizards fan, not Wizards. There was no Warriors fans before that team got built, bro. Bro, people used to laugh at the Warriors. Like,
yeah, we lived in Cali.
we played. We used to play NBA Live '99. What's the one team we never picked on NBA Live '99? Nobody ever picked the Warriors, bro.
Yeah, the Warriors used to be trash, bro. But no, all I'm saying is that to be able to do this, whether it's for free, I told Darren in my interview, I was like, bro, honestly, I'd do this for a ham sandwich. Because he's like, you're not going to get rich, but you'll make a little bit of change.
Yeah, you're doing something you love.
That's not why I'm doing this. You know, I have a job that I do to make a living, and I'm appreciative of that job, and I'm thankful for it. And I'm thankful that they allow me, with my schedule, to do other things to maybe fulfill myself more personally. And don't get me wrong.
Balance is important, bro.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Going to work and working hard and making a living, that brings me a sense of purpose to take care of my family. But we all need something that's our thing, right?
Right.
And so that's what this has been. I hope I can continue to do it. I appreciate everybody's support. I want to remind you one more time of the ways to support the show. One of them you have been doing. You've been listening. You've been watching. Hopefully you've been laughing. You've been crying. You've been entertained. All of those things. Please continue to do that and share the show with your friends. If you're enjoying it, I'm sure there's people in your life who are like-minded like you, or maybe who love Houston sports as much, if not more than you. Continue to share the show. And then in the descriptions of these videos, I have links to Houston Sports Fan Gear. If you're going to go to the game and you want to pick up a t-shirt anyway, instead of going to Walmart or instead of going to Academy, why don't you check out some of my links and see if there's anything in there you like. If you don't like it, you don't got to buy it, but maybe you'll find something that you like in there. Click it, buy it. I'll get a little bit of commission from it, and you'll be supporting the show, and I would really, really appreciate that. Also, I have links, Amazon links to all the equipment in my studio. Somebody actually went and ran up my bill to find out how much I spent on this. I'm like, that's not why I put those links in there. Yeah. I'm trying to make some money. Stop running my pockets. I don't care. Yeah. But I just want everybody to have the opportunity to have the transparency, know what I use. If you're interested in podcasting, you can do the same thing too. This podcast is what brought about the opportunity for me to write for SB Nation. And that's the reason I always encourage people, if you're passionate about something, make a podcast about it. So if you have any questions about podcasting or equipment, check the link in the description. You can DM me on my DMs, or you can email me, whichever you want to do, man. I want to pay forward what Lashard did for me to give me this opportunity. I'm going to let you guys know my first article will be published tomorrow morning. I'm going to share it with everybody. I'll put the link in this description too. I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys will read it, and I hope you guys will be entertained by it.
Don't forget your Only Dads account.
That's Only Dads?
Only Dads. You can support you there too. Only Dads.
I don't got one of those. You got one?
I got a Farmers Only. No,
Farmers Only.
Baby. I am just playing. I want to come home tonight. I'm just playing.
I'm going to go ahead and make up that couch for you, bro, just in case.
Hey, but you don't have to be lonely. We're not sponsored by them. But you don't have to be lonely at farmersonly.com.
All right, Josh, thanks for coming on, man. This was entertaining, man. I love you.
Love you too, bro.
To do it again. The future is bright for both of us, man. Both in our families, in our endeavors. We got big things coming, man. I love you. I'm glad that you're going to be a part of it.
Love you too, man. I'm glad to be here. Can't wait to do it again.
All right, guys. Next week's show is going to be on... What is next week's show going to be on?
Man, we can't keep up with dates. We got jobs.
I think it's going to be Thursday. Next week's show will be on Thursday? Tuesday? I'll let you guys know. I'll send you all
Do it on Saturday. That way I can live stream you from the game.
Saturday... is a possibility. I might be able to do because I will be off on Saturday. Either way, I'll let you guys know when the next show is. You guys stay tuned. In the meantime, I want you to stay 10 toes down for H-Town. We love y'all. Good night.
Good night.
This has been the Houston Sports State of the Union podcast, hosted by Nick Stevenson.
My mic's still hot.
Tune in next week for more news and analysis of your favorite Houston teams. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, the app formerly known as Twitter, if that's even really still a thing. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.